Hello everyone, welcome back to another practical in the Computer and IT Fundamental series. In today's video, we are going to learn Linux log analysis, one of the most important skills for Linux administrator and cybersecurity professionals. Every action performed on a Linux system, such as user logins, failed login attempts, SSH access, or running privileged commands, leaves traces inside log files. In this practical, we learn how to locate those logs, read them, filter important information, and understand how security analysts use them during investigations. Let's quickly see what we'll cover in today's practical. First, we'll understand what Linux logs are and why they are important. Then we'll explore the authentication log file called auth.log. After that, we learn different Linux commands to read and search log entries efficiently. Finally, we'll investigate a real world security scenario to understand how SOC analysts analyze authentication logs. Why is Linux log analysis so important? Whenever someone logs into a Linux system, enters an incorrect password, connects through SSH, or executes administrative commands using sudo, Linux records those events in log files. These logs help system admin troubleshoot issue and help cybersecurity teams detect suspicious activities, investigate incidents, and identify unauthorized access attempts. That's why log analysis is considered a core skill in Linux administration and security operation centers. I am now inside my Ubuntu virtual machine. Let's begin by clearing the terminal to keep everything organized. The pwd command displays my current working directory, that is /home/test. The who am I command displays the currently logged in user, and the currently logged in user is test. These commands are simple, but they are useful because many log entries are associated with user accounts. Now, let's move to the directory where Linux stores most of its log files. The cd command changes the current directory, and the ls command lists all the files inside it. Here you can see several log files generated by different system services. Each of these files stores different type of information. Today, we'll focus on auth.log, which records authentication related events. The cat command prints the complete content of the file. As you can see, the output is very large. On production servers, log files can contain thousands or even millions of entries. Reading everything line by line isn't practical, so Linux provides better commands to analyze logs efficiently. ls commands allows us to navigate large files page by page. Pressing the space bar moves forward, pressing B moves backward, pressing Q exits the file. This command is much more convenient than displaying the entire log at once. The head command displays the first few lines of the file. It's useful when you want to inspect the beginning of a log without opening the entire file. The tail command shows the most recent log entries. Since new events are added at the end of log file, Security analysts often begin their investigation using the tail command. Here we are searching for the phrase failed passwords. If any user entered an incorrect password, Linux records that event. Multiple failed login attempts may indicate a brute force attack or someone trying to gain unauthorized access. If no output appears, that means my virtual machine doesn't currently have any failed login attempts, which is completely normal. On production server, however, these entries are commonly analyzed by SOC teams. Now we have searched for successful login events. So whenever a user successfully authenticates, Linux records an accepted password events. Comparing successful and failed login attempts helps analysts determine whether unauthorized users eventually gained access. Now, look for activities performed using the sudo command. Whenever a user executes a privileged command with sudo, Linux records the action in authentication log. These entries help administrators identify who performed administrative operations and when. I just executed a command using sudo. When I search the log again, we can see a new entry has been added. This demonstrates how Linux records administrative activities in real time. The "-f" option stands for follow. It continuously monitors the log file and displays new entries as soon as they are returned. This is extremely useful during real-time monitoring and incident response because analysts don't need to reopen the files repeatedly. Let's consider a real world scenario. Imagine you're working as a SOC analyst and your organization receives an alert that someone attempted multiple SSH logins on a Linux server during the night. Rather than guessing what happened, the first step is to investigate the authentication logs. We'll search for failed login attempts, verify whether any login was successful, review privileged activities performed using sudo, and determine whether the behavior appears suspicious. This is exactly how log analysis supports incident investigations in real production environment. That brings us to the end of this practical. Today, we learned how Linux records authentication events, where log files are stored, and how to use commands like cat, las, head, tail, and grep to analyze them efficiently. We also explored how these logs help system admin and SOC analysts investigate login attempts, monitor user activities, and detect potential security incidents. I hope you found this practical useful. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with others who are learning Linux and cybersecurity. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in next practical.